If you're looking for a very cute and quick way to give your child's teacher a handmade gift and a gift card or a gift card, we've got you covered. Let's take a look at our Crayons treat and gift card holder. It's very simple. It's going to go together very quickly. Let's do a little paper piecing first. I've kind of got everything laid out here. You can see we've got essentially a box of crayons. And I'm going to begin by taking and gluing the base of the crayon onto our little white sheet here, or white piece of paper, I should say. So let's do that real quick. Now the first one is going to line up right along the edge on the left side and the bottom. So just get that in place. Just like that. And just push that down, and we'll go to the next one here. And I've been using a lot of glue the last couple of days here, working on these back to school projects. And just take this next one, butt it right up against our existing yellow one. Just make sure that it's nice and flush at the bottom. Kind of give it a little bit of a nudge if it's not exactly where you want it. And then move on to the next color. Again, I think actually this project, especially some of the parts, you could probably actually do with your child. I think they could handle gluing these little pieces in place, and it'll give them a sense of accomplishment, and they can also tell their teacher that, hey, look what I made you, and thanks for having me this year. But either way, get that last one in place, just like that. Okay, and then we can put the little tops of the crayons in place. You can see that on this white piece here, we already kind of have a little shadow element to help you with the placement. Oh, and by the way, I did hit all of these with a little bit of ink, just to kind of give them a little extra oomph. Okay. So pretty simple assembly so far. There's really nothing overly difficult about this piece, and you can fill it with some chocolates, or I don't know, some candies, mints. I don't know if it's customary to give any jewelry or anything like that, or you could even fill it with a bunch of pencils or pens, or some certain supplies that maybe the teacher would appreciate, or highlighters. I mean, anything really. I'm sure there are some specialty items that a teacher would really appreciate, so that'll be perfect. You can get some, some of that decorative paper, the tissue paper. Anyway, so now onto this. We're just going to put glue on this entire little strip. So instead of making 4 of these, we just kind of simplified it and just made one. I'm going to go ahead and just align that so it's nice and center through all the crayons. Roughly like that. That looks good. Okay. All right, so next step is we're going to assemble our box. It's very simple. And actually, before we do that, while we have this flat, I'm going to put the back on this. Okay, and the back is going to go on here flush. It's going to match up perfectly. I hit this with a nice green ink as well, just to kind of jazz it up. So let's get our glue on this entire little strip here, and then we'll also affix our little gift card holder as well. So if you've got more than one kid and you want to kind of give each teacher something different, we've got a lot of options in this bundle for you. And actually, I just did a really bad job of lining that up. I think I'm starting to run into some craft fatigue here. I'm sure you guys have all experienced that. Okay, so get that lined up nicely. And make sure that it's all nice and matched up there. Okay, that looks good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece here, and I'm going to fold these tabs back and forth a few times just so that this sits nice and flat for us. And I've kind of done this for, actually I think every project so far has a little gift card holder attached to it. But let's get a little thin line of glue right out to the very edge here. Okay, and I'm going to spread that right out to the very edge. So we get a nice clean contact, nice clean seam. And then grab it from the center. And there's some markers here on this green piece, so get that aligned with those markers. You gotta fold those tabs in slightly. Wow, this glue is really drying today. And then just push it down and get it in place. Got a nice little star cut out of there. Kind of give it a nice little accent. Push that down. Your gift card's gonna slide right in there. Okay. There we go. Beautiful. All right, so now what we can go ahead and do is take and glue this tab to this piece here. This is going to be the bottom of your box. Okay, so let's get some glue on this tab here. And then as always, let's get a nice thin line right up to that very edge. And I'm going to spread that out. Okay, and then it kind of helps to just line this up so that it's even with the score marks on both sides. And you can kind of push down so that you can push this up against that tab so you know that you've got it in the right spot, and then just fold that tab down. Give it a push. You can fold it over this way too, just to make sure that you've got a nice, well, everything's nice and lined up there. Okay, so all that's left to do now, and we're going to go ahead and glue one side in place first. I think that's probably the best way to do it. Let's get some glue here, a little line right up to the very edge. Spread that thin and get that connected. Line it up nicely, right up to the very edge there. There we go. Okay, and then we can kind of tuck that in. I'm going to put glue on this tab now. And again, right up to the very edge. Spread that glue nice and thin. Make sure you tuck this tab in. Tuck that tab under and get that lined up nicely. Just like that. Give that a pinch. There we go. Work your way down there a little bit. And then to finish this off, take these two tabs down here and just get a little bit of glue underneath these tabs, these last two tabs that we didn't glue. Just throw a little glue on there on one side, get that lined up and push down to make it stay. And same thing with this last tab here. I'm just going to flip it up. Just put a little bit of glue on that tab. Don't need a lot. Just need it to stay in place. And should already be aligned because the front and the sides are already together. So just push that down. We have this little piece here, and this is just a little liner to kind of strengthen the box a little bit. So just throw a little bit of glue on the bottom, just a couple random squiggles, and drop that in and push that down nicely. Okay. All right, and now we have this little piece here. You'll notice that there's a series of score marks here at the bottom, and there's some score marks here on the side. This is going to go like this on your box. And so it should be flush at the bottom, nice and flush at the bottom, and then it should hug the little edges here and pretty much be flush with the top here where the score mark is. So let's do the front first, and then we'll worry about the sides. Make sure you get enough glue up here in this little corner, as well as that corner, and especially down at the bottom, so that the bottom doesn't come loose. So I'm going to put a little extra down there. I'm going to spread that out all the way down to the bottom. Okay, and just get that nice and centered, kind of using the little edge there as my guide, and getting that flush to the bottom, and then just kind of squeeze that all the way throughout that design. Perfect. Okay, then we're going to close that up, or finish it off, I should say, by putting some glue on this little strip here. And again, let's make sure that we get that glue right out to the very edge, and maybe spread that out a little bit. And then just fold that over. I got a little excess glue there. I'm going to pull that off, and right up to that score mark. And you can, if you want, push the tab down. Okay, you can do it either way, it's fine. And there we go. Okay, and same thing with the other side here. Just get a little bit of glue on the strip, and then definitely get some glue right out to that edge. Spread that nice and thin, fold it over right under that score mark, and just press between your fingers to get that to stick. There you go. And of course the box is flapped open because we're using our crayons. We're being creative here. All right, and then finally, we've got these two little pieces. Well, not finally, but pretty close. Go ahead and fold these. I also hit these with a little bit of ink. And what we're gonna do, and this is where the little score marks come into play. You're going to align this with those score marks, and then we're going to glue that off to the side. So it's going to kind of create that, you know the name of the popular crayon brand. It's kind of what we're trying to mimic here without encroaching on any copyright laws. Oh boy. I'm so awesome with my glue right now. Okay, so just position this strip so that the bottom here, the flat part, is flush with the bottom, and then get that in place. Kind of push down here, and then push on over on this side so it's nice and straight. You can kind of stick your finger inside the box and give that a little push, just like that. I got a little excess glue there, that's fine. That looks good. Same thing on the other side. Just make sure you get that glue down to the bottom of that little thin strip here. And then also up here. And down there. There we go. Get that lined up nicely, flush with the bottom. Follow those score marks and give that a very gentle little push, and then get this in place. Give it a little squeeze here. There we go. Okay, we can get our star on here. I'm going to go ahead and use a little foam square or two to get that in place. Probably just do two of them. Well, you know what? Let's just do three, just to keep it, just to help it balance out. It is a hot one in the studio today, I tell you. All right. So get that nice and centered on the front of your box. That's super cute. Okay. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop dot this right into the back here, so it's kind of sticking out a little bit. So let's get our foam squares and let's put some at the bottom, and then let's put some at the top. I don't think we need to put them on the actual crayon portion. I think this will do just fine. And let's see, let's do a little bend test. I think that's perfect. All right, let me give these an extra push here so they don't come off as I'm taking the backing off. There we go. And the last one. So when we pop this in, it's gonna sit flat on the bottom of the box. So let's just kind of drop it in, right? And then just push it back so it's nice and centered up against the back here. And then you can put this down on your surface, push down, and there you go. So that is our final little crayon box. We've got a cute little spot for a gift card on the back. Very simple project, very quick. You should be able to do this in, I don't know, however long this video took. It's been less than 30 minutes, I know that. And your teacher will love it, they won't forget it, and it'll you know, help your child have a good start to the year. So if you enjoyed the video, please take a moment and visit us on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, and I'd love to see any of the projects from our back to school bundle this year in our Facebook group. So visit Facebook and do a search for Dreaming Tree Group. You can join myself and 6,000 plus other dreamers and share your work with us. So thank you so much for joining me, and as always, I look forward to crafting with you again.
Stay on top of all things Dreaming Tree and engage with us today. Get the latest news and enter in our giveaways on Facebook. Get inspired by following us on Pinterest. Be the first to see our new product launches on Instagram. Do you prefer Twitter? Yep, we're there too. Watch our beautiful product trailers and assembly tutorials on YouTube. For more information, visit www.3dsvg.com. Live, craft, love, and dream.